Immersive sims aren't just a game genre, they're a whole design philosophy. These games throw you into a living world and basically tell you, solve problems however you want. And honestly, that freedom is what makes the genre so special. You can sneak into a building without being seen, hack entire systems, fight your way through enemies, or even talk your way out of situations. The choice is completely yours. And in this video, we're going to talk about some of the best immersive sim games ever made. So if you're ready, let's get started. Prague in 2029 feels like a city on the verge of something really bad. Augmented humans are being segregated, checkpoints, slur graffiti, separate train cars, and Jensen is right in the middle of it, working counterterrorism. What makes this game work is how the augmentation system actually changes how you move through every single encounter. You can punch through a wall to skip an entire area, hack a turret and turn it on the guards, talk a captain into standing down, or just go loud with a combat rifle. None of those approaches feel like cheats. They all feel intentional. The story cuts off before it's done, which genuinely stings, but the moment-to-moment gameplay is as tight as this genre gets. Dishonored, 2 games, 2 completely different energy. In the first one, you're Corvo, a disgraced royal protector working his way up the chain of people who framed him. In the second, you can play as either Corvo or Emily, and they genuinely do not play the same. Emily's domino ability, linking enemies so what happens to one happens to all of them, creates these absurd, satisfying chain reactions that Corvo just can't do. The chaos system is what ties it all together. Kill too many people and the city literally starts to rot. Rat swarms multiply. Guards get more paranoid. The game is watching how you play and reacting to it. Skin Deep. Skin Deep came out in 2025, and it might be the most fun the genre has had in years. You're a corporate insurance agent protecting cargo ships from space pirates, and every mission starts the same way. You wake up on a ship with a gun and a cat. That sounds like a joke. It isn't. Every object on that ship is interactive. Every room has multiple ways through it, and the cat legitimately has tactical uses you'll figure out on your own. Bossa Nova Games made something that doesn't take itself seriously, but demands you take its system seriously. And that tension is where the fun lives. Don't let the absurdist tone fool you into thinking this is shallow. Pergay Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. This game came out in 2006, and the physics combat still slaps. You play Sarkon, a sorcerer's apprentice, and the whole point is that the environment is your best weapon. Kick an enemy down a flight of stairs, impale someone on a spike wall, freeze the ground so a guard slips off a ledge, shoot a rope holding a chandelier directly above a group of enemies. The game is constantly giving you these setups, and trusting you to notice them. The RPG skill tree lets you go warrior, mage, or rogue, but the real fun is mixing all three and watching what happens. It looks rough by modern standards, no question, but the feel of the combat holds up in a way that genuinely surprises you. BioShock Infinite. Columbia is one of the most impressive opening sequences in gaming. You break through the surface of water, and suddenly you're in this bright, sunny, beautiful floating city, and it takes maybe 20 minutes before you realize how rotten the whole thing is underneath. Racial segregation, religious fanaticism, nationalist violence dressed up in patriotic colors. Booker and Elizabeth work as a duo in combat because she's not passive. She's scanning the environment mid-fight, throwing you ammo, health, and salts, and ripping open tiers to pull in turrets or cover. The skyline traversal, grabbing rails and swinging between platforms at full speed, is still one of the most kinetic movement systems any shooter has pulled off, and the ending genuinely earns its ambition. This one is hard to explain without underselling it. You can transfer your consciousness into a robot, then into a different robot, then into an appliance, then into basically anything with a power source. Your body becomes a tool. That one mechanic reshapes every single room into a puzzle, where the question is always, okay, what can I inhabit here that I haven't tried yet? The voice acting is rough, and the visuals are pretty bare bones. None of that matters because the core idea is so genuinely original that you forgive everything else within the first hour. It's asking real questions about identity and control, and it's asking them through gameplay, not cutscenes. That's rare. Garrett showed up in 1998 and basically invented the stealth genre as we know it. The city is this Victorian-adjacent place with its own mythology, a war between a builder faction and a pagan faction, and Garrett wants nothing to do with any of it. He just wants to steal things and get paid. What the original trilogy understood that a lot of games still don't is that the absence of violence is more powerful than violence. You have a blackjack and some arrows. Lethal force is an option, but it's almost always the wrong one. The 2014 reboot is worth playing just to see how badly they misunderstood what made the original work. The Dark Project is where you start. Every level is a puzzle box. This isn't a game you play for fun. That sounds like a criticism. It isn't. You're a doctor arriving in a small town during the early stages of a plague outbreak. You have 12 days. You cannot save everyone. The game is structured so that you will fail to save everyone, and it forces you to decide who gets your time. You need to eat, sleep, trade and run across town to reach people before they die, and the clock is always moving. The town is alive. Vendors change prices as the economy collapses, buildings get quarantined, people you've talked to die off screen. The game is designed to exhaust you. That's the point. If you push through it, your relationship with what games can do permanently changes. Gloomwood. Gloomwood wears its thief influence like a badge of honor, and it earns the right to do that. You're trying to escape a fog-covered Victorian port town, and the stealth is built around sound almost entirely. Firing your revolver wakes up the whole area, so every shot is a commitment. You've got a crank to kill lights, a bottle to distract guards, tall grass to hide in, and ledges to drop from silently. The pencil sketch visual style gives everything this gritty, hand-drawn look that somehow makes the darkness feel more threatening. New Blood kept updating it through early access, and the full release is genuinely excellent. If you've never played a stealth immersive sim before, this is one of the best places to start right now. Alien Isolation. The alien doesn't follow a script. That's the thing. It learns. If you've been hiding in lockers every time it comes near, it starts checking lockers. If you've been running, it starts predicting where you're running to. Creative Assembly built a behavior system that adapts to your habits, which means the tension never flatlines. Every encounter feels genuinely unpredictable. Your tools are the motion tracker, the flamethrower, noisemakers, and your own judgment about when to move and when to stay completely still. The Sevastopol station is built to feel like the original film. Analog displays, chunky hardware, orange emergency lighting everywhere. It's the most faithful adaptation of a movie license ever put into a game, and the gameplay is the reason, not the aesthetics. Black Reef is a time loop island, and you're cult, stuck reliving the same day until you figure out how to kill all 8 visionaries in a single run. The genius of it is that information is your actual currency. Each loop you learn schedules, locations, codes, weaknesses, and carry that knowledge forward. The combat borrows liberally from Dishonored, but it's faster and more aggressive, and the slab powers, Blink, Nexus, Carnessus combo together in genuinely creative ways. The Juliana invasion mechanic, where another player can enter your world to hunt you, creates this layer of paranoia that no NPC can replicate. Every map changes at every time of day. The puzzle of figuring out the optimal kill order is one of the most satisfying things this genre has produced. J.C. Denton, Nano-Augmented UNACO Agent, Global Conspiracy, New York City Flooded, a world that looks at 2025 and feels disturbingly relevant. Every mission in this game has probably 15 different solutions, and the game supports all of them with equal mechanical respect. The vent is always an option, so is hacking the door, picking the lock, finding the key, bribing the guard, or just grenading the whole room. What Warren Spector built here is still the purest expression of what immersive sim means, a world that behaves consistently and lets you push on it from any angle. The engine looks ancient, doesn't matter. This is the source code for the entire genre, and it plays better than most things built in the last decade. The visuals are intentionally disgusting. That's not a bug. Cruelty Squad drops you into a corporate dystopia as Crust, a hitman working for a company that sells assassination as a service, and every visual element is designed to assault your eyes. But underneath that is a genuinely deep immersive sim with implants that do bizarre things. You can pull a rope out of your intestines for mobility, shoot lasers from your eyes, phase through enemies by teleporting into their bodies. The stock market system lets you actually play the in-game economy between missions. It's hostile, it's weird, and it fully commits to being both. Once you understand what it's actually doing, it expands your idea of what this genre is allowed to be. Not for everyone, absolutely for someone. The Mimics, small Typhon aliens that transform into any object, are one of the best enemy designs in the genre. The moment one turns into a coffee mug on a desk, you stop trusting anything in that station. The Gikluo cannon shoots hardening foam that immobilizes enemies, creates platforms, and seals vents, a multi-purpose tool that rewards creative thinking constantly. The station is Metroidvania-style interconnected, with shortcuts unlocking as you gain abilities. Neuromods let you invest in human skills or Typhon powers, and choosing Typhon abilities changes how other characters respond to you. Arcane packed the dead crew members' lives into emails, recordings, and body positions throughout the station. Reading all of it makes Talos feel genuinely inhabited rather than just designed. This one is small and it doesn't overstay its welcome. You're trapped in a hunter's house, and you need to understand the layout, every room, every hiding spot, every noise source before you can make a real escape attempt. Light, sound, and movement are the 3 variables the game is always tracking. Leave a drawer open, he notices. Step on a creaky floorboard, he hears it. The design is precise. There's no health bar, no combat, no HUD, just a house and a guy who will catch you if you're not careful. The visual style is lo-fi, but the tension is completely real. For an indie horror game built around immersive sim logic, this is is one of the cleaner executions of that formula out there. Arcane's first game. The sun has gone out and civilization has retreated underground into a massive dungeon. You wake up in a cell with no memory. What makes Arx Fatalis hold up, genuinely hold up, is the spellcasting system. You draw runes with your mouse to cast spells, combining symbols and sequences. It's tactile in a way that typing a hotkey never is. The world is layered, the factions have real internal logic, and the game trusts you to figure out what's happening without a waypoint on your map. You can see the DNA of Dishonored and Prey directly in how this game thinks about space and systems. It's old, it's rough, but if you want to understand where Arcane came from, this is the beginning of that story. Bloodwest. Bloodwest throws you into a cursed frontier wilderness as a damned gunslinger who can't stay dead. Every time you die, you respawn at a totem with whatever you've learned. The immersive sim bones are solid. You can ghost through entire areas without firing a shot, or set up kill zones with environmental traps and let enemies walk into them. Stealth is genuinely rewarded. The combination of Western gunplay, dark folk horror aesthetics, and first-person immersive sim mechanics is one nobody had really tried before, and it works. The world is grim, and the atmosphere is consistent. For a small indie release, the quality of the systems is legitimately surprising. It's been flying under the radar since launch, and it really shouldn't be. Shadows of Doubt. Every city in Shadows of Doubt is procedurally generated. Every murder is procedurally generated. Every suspect has a real daily routine, real social connections, real alibis that can be checked. You're a private detective and you have to build your case the real way, pulling fingerprints, tapping phone lines, reading mail, interviewing neighbors, cross-referencing time cards. The city doesn't pause while you're working. New crimes happen. People move. Evidence gets cleaned up. No two playthroughs share the same murder, the same city layout, or the same culprit. What's remarkable is how real each case feels despite being algorithmically generated. The immersive sim framework here isn't about combat options, it's about investigation options, and that's a genuinely fresh use of the genre's toolkit. System Shock 2, still one of the best games ever made. The Von Braun has been taken over by a hybrid biological horror called The Many, and Shodan, the AI villain from the first game, is guiding you through the ship. You trust her because you have to. That relationship is uncomfortable the whole way through. The RPG system covers combat, hacking, psi powers, engineering, and you will never have enough points to cover everything, which means your build shapes which parts of the ship feel manageable and which feel genuinely terrifying. Weapons degrade. Ammo is always scarce. The sound design, mutated crew members crying out, metal groaning, is still unsettling by modern standards. The Night Dive remaster fixed the technical issues. There's no better time to play it than now.